Hello, welcome to Enots Engineering. I'm Alan. In this video I'll show you how to use the lathe as a shaper to form some spanner flats on a bar and use a woodwork tool as a form tool on the lathe. So let's go into the workshop. This is what I'm trying to make. It's 0.187 diameter, which is 3/16. I want different lengths. On this end is a dome. There's a couple of flats and the thread is 40 teeth per inch, which is 3/16 by 40 teeth per inch, and I think that's a model engineering thread. I have this stainless steel rod, and out of that I've made 3 using the die to cut the thread. So now what I want to do is to turn a dome on the end. Now checking the dome on this one is 10mm, and I've checked some of the other parts that came with the bore gauge, and depending on the size the radius on the end is different. So the bigger the bore, the bigger the radius. So on these that I've made, I want to cut a radius of 10mm, and on this part, which is another one I've made, but this was a 1/4 inch bar because I needed a face on this, I need to cut a 6mm radius. I thought, how am I going to grind 10 and 6mm radius on a lathe tool? But then I noticed something that I've got in stock. These are the router cutters for woodwork. That has got a 10mm radius already ground into it. That one's got a 6mm radius and it's tungsten carbide. Tungsten carbide should cut stainless steel, and that's what I'm going to do next, to see how I can reproduce the radius on the end. The part I want to produce the radius on into an ER20 collet. This is a tool I want to use just to put that radius on the end. It's not that far off the shape of the tip already. So the next job is to set this at centre height in the tool holder with the radius at about that angle. I've fitted the router tool into the tool holder. I've used a piece of aluminium so I don't damage the diameter on the router cutter. Now I'm just setting the tool height to centre. There we go, just on centre. This is the blade I'm using on this side, and that's set at the tool height, so I can turn that round. Some black felt tip pen on the end so I can see where it's cutting. So you can see that the finish is really good. Change the tool now to the 10mm cutter. You can see there that's the 10mm radius gauge. So I'll set that at centre height and then set up the next part. I've set my lathe tool, an arrow tool, I'll set it sideways in the tool holder, so when I place it into the tool holder I can move it backwards and forwards and use the tool to cut like a shaper. To get the depth of cut I'm using the height adjuster on the tool holder, so by turning this, lowering the tool it'll put the cut on, higher in the tool it'll take the cut off. And I've got a scratch mark on there that I use just so you can see where you're turning it to. So when I do the one side, say to 6 o'clock there, I will then turn it round, back the tool off, and then come back down to the same position so that each side is equal. And you control the depth, the length in, you can just turn the handle, or you can set a dial indicator on your carriage, depends how important the depth is or the length, to move up to the same stop. Use the tool height adjustment to lower it down to the metal. And what I've got is I've got the spindle lock on so that I know where that flat is being produced. And you just go along using the lathe tool like a shaper, backwards and forwards to produce the flat. Drop it down a bit further. Cut. Return the tool to the higher position. And then rotate the job 180 degrees. What I'm doing is using a micrometer just held on there to give me the position when that's vertical. I know that the flat I've already cut on the bottom is horizontal. I'll go back over to the top, lower the tool down. Checking the depth is correct. Lower the tool down a bit further to get next cut. Just check the size. It's about 1/10 off. So we'll just lower this to that's the same position as I did the other side. It's okay. Therefore I've got a flat there, flat on the other side. And there's the finished items. The three on this side are the originals that came with the bore gauge. These three are the ones we've just made. That's it for today, and I hope to see you next time on Enots Engineering.